Oh, I was just about to do a Facebook Live. How about, hey, I'm here at my Facebook Live, guys, and he's standing in the live video.
What was your name again? John
Yep.
Doe? That was an interesting name.
You want to talk about making somebody uncomfortable that has bad intentions? Put them on social media live.
Yeah.
Right?
That's for sure.
They'll get the hell out of Dodge quickly because they don't want anything to do with that.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the Whissel Way Podcast. I am joined today not by my normal co-host. Maybe I should introduce myself. I'm Bryan Koci, the Director of Media here at Whissel Realty Group in San Diego. And I am joined not by my normal co-host, but a new co-host for the week, Mike Proctor. Mike.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Proctor. I work here.
He does. Mike, you've been with Whissel for
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
And you've been an agent, transitioned into the sales manager role.
Yep.
And then went back to becoming an agent, and you're crushing it. That was within the last 12 months, right?
Yeah, I transitioned back into being an agent in September of 2020.
Yep. And it is, what is it now? June of 2021.
June, yeah.
I had to do the math.
Yeah, carry the one.
So almost a full year back into being an agent.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're crushed. How many do you have pending right now?
I have 9 pending right now.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I think last week you had 10, but apparently you closed one.
I closed 5 last week.
And so to give context to that, that's a lot here in San Diego.
Yeah.
If you're listening to in somewhere in the Midwest, and maybe that may not seem like a lot, but with
so like the mitigating factor, I think you would say is I've got 12 million closed year to date.
12 million deals
personally.
Closed. Oh no, I'm in dollar volume.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's not bad.
No, I'm excited. It's fun. I'm really enjoying the market that we're in right now.
Yes. Well, we're not here to talk about the market. We are so the Whissel Way Podcast is a podcast that we do to try and make your job as the listener easier as a real estate agent, and not necessarily real estate, but literally any
just
market life, right? So we do this in. I didn't start it. We do this in 30 minutes or less.
And bink.
We're probably 5 minutes in already, but our goal is to do this in 30 minutes or less, give you some tactical knowledge that you can utilize in your business today. What we're going to be talking about today with Mike is how to stay safe while you're out and about. This is something that I heard from you a couple of years ago when you presented, and I was expecting it to be mostly common sense, and I learned literally everything you talked about. I'm like, didn't know that. So I'm really excited about this.
Right.
If you guys want more information, I'm not going to do the whole spiel that Kyle does. He does it better than me. Go to thewhisselway.com. You can join our referral network, learn about Media Mayor Mastermind, our course on video. Join our Facebook group, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you like this, wherever you're at, do the thing that we want you to do, right? Thumbs up it, share it, comment, subscribe, leave a review, wherever you're at. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for doing something cool for us. That means a lot for us. We put time into the show, and we'd love to see a little bit of a reciprocity, just a little one.
Well, and I dig it because I listen to this podcast while I'm driving around, and I dig it. So I promise I will try to make this as entertaining and educational for while you're driving around listening to this podcast.
Are you going to listen to this podcast of you speaking while you're driving around?
No, that's weird.
That's weird.
Yeah. I'll be like, why am I talking to myself? My kid will be like, Daddy, is that you?
You're like, yes, quiet while I talk. Okay, so Mike, I think you broke it down into 3 different sections. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes.
Okay.
I think you broke it down to, we did 3 different sections before, right?
Okay.
We did open house safety.
Right.
We did showing safety.
Right.
And we did, what was the third one? I don't remember.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
All right, well, let's start with those 2.
Okay.
And
there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah, there is.
You know, because like you said, it's not common sense, but once you think about it and you put yourself into those certain situations, you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, we work in an industry where we are going to put ourselves into what could be precarious situations, right? And this is across the board. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It doesn't matter if you're a huge, strong human being or
Like Mike.
small and meek.
Like me.
That doesn't matter, because if somebody wants to take my wallet and they pull out a knife, I don't care how strong I am, that knife's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Right? So please don't be that person that assumes this won't be you. Right? And that's why I put together, like, I call it Realtor Tactical Awareness Training.
Yep.
Because that's really what it is. It's just being tactically aware of your situation and your surroundings.
Because it's not, we're not teaching self-defense here on the podcast.
No.
And that's not something you can learn in a 30-minute anything. You can't learn.
I mean, that's what YouTube's for.
Exactly. Right? Yes. Just give the guy a scooter and he'll probably eat shit somewhere and it'll be hilarious. Right. Film it. He's gonna, give me your knife. Here's a scooter. Go ahead and do some tricks.
He'll eat
and
he's like, hilarious. Oh, look what I found.
So, okay, let's talk about being aware at a residence, at a house, whether it's an open house or a showing. A lot of times realtors will either be going by themselves,
yes,
showing people that they haven't met before,
right?
Especially in this market where everything's flying and I want to see this house, and if I don't see it today, it will be gone tomorrow.
Well, you look at our average consumer.
Yep.
Right? They have been indoctrinated with Uber Eats and Amazon, where I push a button and I get what I want immediately.
Yep. So
we, as an industry, have made this shift into the 30-minute pizza delivery people, right? Like, we're going to get that notification on our phone. We're going to call the contact and be like, yes, I can meet you at that property in the middle of nowhere with no cell service in 25 minutes. And no, I'm not going to ask for your pre-approval. I'm not going to have you jump through hoops in order for me to confirm that you're not an axe murderer. I'm just going to hope that you want to buy a house from me.
Would you like me to pick you up from prison? Okay, yeah. I'll meet you by the back gate. Cool,
yeah, I know exactly where that
is. Tom used to work there.
Right? Yeah, he totally did.
So keep going.
But that's what we're walking into.
Yes.
And I think we live in this bubble of security because 99% of the time, nothing bad's ever going to happen.
Yep.
Right? 99% of the time, nothing is going to happen. It's going to be the person that they say they are. They're coming to look at a property for the potential of purchasing.
Yep.
Right? That is their intention. But there is that small percentage that's not their intention. And the biggest thing I want everybody listening and watching to take away is those individuals that go into this with the expectation of malice. They're coming in here with the intention of robbing or doing something worse.
Yep.
They're trying to take advantage of an opportunity.
Okay, that's a good point.
Right? They are looking for an opening. So the entire tactical awareness training that I do, that I've preached and taught classes on, it's all about minimizing those opportunities.
Okay, perfect.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Okay, because there's nothing foolproof.
Correct.
Right? Unless it's a virtual tour.
Damn, I got a virus.
Yeah.
I downloaded the thing and now I got.
Yeah, that's different. But yeah, unless you're doing virtual tours, there is a potential. So let's say you are going to do an open house. Let's just start with open houses.
Let's start with open house.
Now that we're allowed to do those again.
Right.
So most of the time when I go and attend open houses, most agents hold them individually. They don't have other people there.
Meaning they're the sole
so
agent.
They're the sole human being at the property.
Yep.
I don't know why agents love to do that. I guess maybe I do, because they're greedy and they don't want to share. So maybe I'm wrong, but let's throw it out there and just say, hey, maybe you don't do open houses alone. Bring your title rep. bring a lender, bring your assistant, bring some other human being, but then task them. Maybe they're the greeter at the front door when people first get there.
Bring the pizza delivery guy. Just let him come in and then
Why
don't let him
not?
out.
That's now you've turned into the problem.
I found the opportunity.
Yeah, see what happened. Yeah. This is where.
But yes, so if you don't want to do it with another agent, most agents in our office do open houses together.
Right.
That way they can split the cost of things. And while Jeremy has a listing and Louis goes with him this weekend, Louis' listing will be next weekend.
And they piggyback on
so
one another. Yeah.
Having a partner to do open houses with are great. And we've talked about this ad nauseum with Kyle about having, as one person comes in and you're showing them the back bedroom, you still have someone there to greet people as they come in so they're not walking into an empty house.
Right.
So tip one is always have an ally with you at the property.
Yep. And that in itself is going to curb almost any potential of bad things happening.
Yep.
Because you've just taken away their opportunity to be alone with you.
Mm-hmm.
And unless they're really just off the rocker, they're not going to be stupid enough to attempt to do something with more than one person there.
Yep.
Right? Because they have a built-in witness, and they don't want that.
Correct.
So let's say for whatever reason, because it's possible, lenders can't make it, everybody cancels on you last minute, but it's still your open house. You got to hold this open.
Yep.
So you head out. First thing you want to do, you walk into the house, you lock the door behind you, and you clear the house.
Okay.
You make sure you're walking into an empty house.
One of the things that I like to do as a photographer, as soon as I walk in, hello, photographer's here.
Yep.
Because one, I don't want to walk in on someone sleeping or naked or unsuspecting.
But you have your camera.
Yes. Different photo shoot. But yeah, it gives whoever, if there's someone else in the house, it gives them a notification that I'm there.
Absolutely.
And if you hear something shady, you can just bounce out real quick.
Yep.
Okay, so
I love that. Announce your presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then go through and I mean, when you're doing an open house, you want to turn on all the lights anyway.
Open up all the windows, turn all the lights on, right? Like
Now,
it's big, it's open, it's light, it's bright, it's inviting.
One of the things that you said during this tactical things that you mentioned just now is you actually, one of the things that you like to do is actually physically open the windows.
Yep.
So we as photographers like the blinds all the way open.
Right.
But you actually talked about, which I think was genius. Again, one of those common sense things when I look back, like, obviously, but actually physically opening the windows to where if you needed to say something loudly, the neighbors could hear you.
Without question. And I know it looks cool in movies when people jump out of a window, but that hurts.
Yes.
The glass cuts you.
Yeah.
Jumping through a screen, not that big a deal. And if
Mike's like, I do it every 3 days.
yeah, big windows, but I jump through them. But if something were to go awry and you had to make a quick exit, jumping through a screen in a window is not that hard to do. Mm-hmm. And that's going to get you some time between you and the the bad guy.
Now, another thing, open windows now that you can hear,
other
but also
than
you can
opening
jump.
the windows,
Yep.
right? You want to know where all of your exits are.
Yep.
Now, this is like, back from second grade when you needed to know your fire exit
plan
strategy, right?
I'm going to meet at the neighbor's house. Yep.
Absolutely. So, know where your car is parked in relation to the front door. Mm-hmm. If you're parked in the driveway, maybe you back into the driveway.
Okay.
Right? Go meet the neighbors.
I was going to lead you here. I'm glad you did this.
Go next door. Get to your open house half an hour before it opens. And you go meet the neighbors and physically tell them, hey, I'm Mike. I'm holding the house open next door. I was supposed to have somebody here with me, but, now I'm flying solo. And I was wondering if you could do me a favor. Could you come check on me about half an hour into the open house? I've got some food, I've got some drinks. You live next door. I don't expect you to buy the house. But just as a safety precaution, I like to have the neighbors come by and check on me and make sure I'm okay.
Cool.
what neighbor is going to say no to that? Right? And if they do say no to that, then it's not really a selling point on the house, but that's a separate conversation.
He's like, sure thing, Mike. Like, actually, I'm good. I got to go. My car's backed into the driveway. I got to go. Can you close the window?
Right. But know your exit strategy. Know the neighbors.
And another thing about the neighbors that you mentioned, again, when we did this a while ago, is you said you would knock 10 doors to the left, 10 doors to the right, and 20 doors across the street.
Right.
Same thing. One, it's great advertising for your open house. But two, now they're going to know why cars are coming by. Now there'll be a lot more visibility if you say, welcome, are you a neighbor? I just invited 40 neighbors over. You're not a neighbor? Okay, well, I invited 40 people over. They're coming over right in a minute.
Right.
So
so what you're doing is you're engaging their reticular activating system.
Yeah.
Right.
Their RAS.
Their RAS. Right. So if for those of you that don't know what that is, it's that little thing where, when you buy a car and then all of a sudden you see that car everywhere on the road, or you get a new shirt and all of a sudden you see everybody's wearing it. It's not like everybody went and bought it the same time you did. They've always had it. You just weren't aware of it. Your brain wasn't activated that way.
Yep.
But because you've now gotten it, it's activated that reticular activating system. So now you're cognitively aware of it. So when you go and you knock on those doors, now all of those neighbors are cognitively aware, and they've heightened their awareness to that house, that open house. You are the person there. And if they hear screaming, right, if they hear fire, right, because you never want to say help. Never, 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 never yell help. I don't know why, but the average American will not respond to someone screaming for help. What they're going to do is they'll stay in their house and they'll call 911. If you scream, my baby, or if you scream fire, they are going to come to you.
Man, same thing happened last time. You said this, and I get chills because there's a response when you hear that, and like literally proof.
It's innate. There's something in our human DNA that if a baby is in trouble, we are programmed to go help it.
Wow,
it's weird. I don't know why, but it happens.
Because babies are pretty cute. So that's probably why.
Yeah. But if you scream, my baby, you are going to get neighbors to come inside that house 100% of the time.
Wow. Okay.
So this goes back to why you open the windows. Because if you do start getting attacked and you run down a hallway, run up the stairs, and you're screaming, my baby, come help me, my baby, people are going to come into the house.
Yeah. We've got a couple more minutes. I want to still stay at the property.
Yeah.
Let's say someone comes in, you're by yourself, they're the only person that comes in, you're the only person there, and they say, show me the house, Mike. What are some things that you can do to keep yourself safe, to close those opportunities?
So, the last thing you want to do is have them follow you anywhere, right? You want to be an usher, right? You want to be like the person that ushers you to the row that you sit in at the movies or at a wedding. So you're going to walk to the hallway and you're going to invite them down the hallway. And as they walk in front of you, you'll say to the right, that door leads to this bedroom. Go ahead and go inside. They go in the bedroom. You stay in the hallway. As they start walking out, you back up. They then walk down the hallway further in front of you.
And I think as you say this, it makes a lot of sense in two ways. One, it doesn't back you into a corner, right? You walk into the bedroom and you go, shit, this one has a tiny window and they're standing at the door. I'm stuck in there. But also, they're there to see the house, not to see your backside. Yeah. We've talked about great ass for our videos. My backside's
awesome.
Yeah, I know. I know. But it gives them a better viewing experience when they can see the house
100%.
And not are staring at the back of your head.
Yep.
Right? So I think that works great in a couple ways.
Yep.
Also, I know you have people sign in as well.
Which for open houses, yes.
Yep, which automatically gets uploaded. So that way you have that as a backup. Obviously, they can put in, you're not asking for driver's license. Let me see driver's license, credit card, library card, and your passport, please.
Yeah.
But that's another backstop. One thing I want to touch on before we end this is because I know the comments we're going to get right away is, I have a concealed carry permit. I always carry a machete. I know Kung Fu.
Right.
What's your response to that? Because we haven't talked at all about having a gun, having a knife, having anything, a weapon of any sort. What's your response there?
So, if you've taken any kind of self-defense training, your number one objective is to get away from the conflict, no matter what it is.
It's not to win the fight.
No. You're not showing up to the open house with the intention of shooting someone. Mm-hmm. You're not going to an open house with the intention of beating someone up.
You're like, I win. That's not the goal.
No, I win is getting an offer $30,000 over asking, right? Like, yes, that's winning. Not like taking the knife away from somebody. That's lucky.
That's surviving.
Right?
Yeah.
So, all those things, like, I'm a huge advocate of defending yourself and intelligently being armed, mm-hmm. right? If you do have a carry concealed, go to the range once a week, mm-hmm. right? Because judicious aim is way more important than just having a permit. Mm-hmm. So, if that's your bag, do it, right? 100%, but do it the right way.
Well, and what I love about this conversation is doing what we're talking about now hopefully prevents as many of those situations as possible.
And that's the point.
Yep.
You want to be ahead of this, mm-hmm. because once you get to the point where you have to draw, that means that something got dropped along the way.
Yep.
You're letting them follow you into a room. Mm-hmm. Now you're cornered. Or you didn't open up the windows, or you didn't have somebody at the front door with you at the
mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, there's some part of that puzzle that didn't get put, which gave them the opening.
Yep.
Right. So 2 things that I wanted to talk about that I felt are really helpful because they make people that have bad intentions uncomfortable and it makes them go away.
Oh, good. Those are good things.
At an open house, I'm sure everybody on here that's watching can attest to this. People give vibes, right? Mm-hmm. And you get somebody that comes to your open house and you're like, hey, welcome to the open. Go ahead and sign in for me. What brought you in? How'd you hear about the open? And they're just giving you that awkward vibe. Mm-hmm. Well, excuse me, I've got a phone call. All of a sudden you're on the phone with somebody. That's going to make it kind of difficult for them to attack you, mm-hmm. right? Or, I was just about to do a Facebook Live. How about, hey, I'm here at my Facebook Live, guys, and he's standing in the live video.
What was your name again? John
Yep.
Doe? That was an interesting name.
You want to talk about making somebody uncomfortable that has bad intentions? Put them on social media live.
Yeah.
Right?
That's for sure.
They'll get the hell out of Dodge quickly because they don't want anything to do with that.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point.
Yeah, so those 2 things I think are really socially acceptable because we don't want to be rude and be like, do you have the intention of robbing me? Right? Like,
do you have malice in your heart today?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yes.
Right? But if we get that feeling, those are 2 things we can do that are absolutely socially acceptable, right? They're not, if they aren't, maybe they're just giving off a weird vibe, right? But they have every intention of buying the house. They're not going to think ill of you for going Facebook Live because that's what agents do.
Yep.
And that's acceptable.
Yep.
They're not going to think ill of you taking a phone call. No.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, oh, okay, it's a busy agent.
Yeah.
Right? They're doing their job. Oh, this is kind of cool. They're on social media. But if they are of that ilk, that they're trying to do something malicious, they're going to exit stage left.
One of the things that I want to give this kind of a bonus tip because it has to deal with the phone call.
Punch him in the throat.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Punch him in the throat at the end. No, but it has to deal with that phone call. Say you're planning an open house. No one could do it with you. You let your wife, your brother-in-law, your nanny, your house cleaner, whoever know. And talk about kind of the code word.
Yep. So what you do is you have this preset up with somebody else, whomever it is, right? You said nanny, whomever.
Yeah.
Right? Normally it's somebody else in your office, mm-hmm. right? But you say, like, oh, hey, I'm over here at Winter Gardens at the open house that I'm running. I totally forgot my blue file. Can you bring me that blue file? And what they hear, the intruder, the bad guy, is you asking a coworker to bring a file to you.
Yeah.
But because you're using, like 007 cryptic language,
They're like, what is
they
in the blue
know
file?
that blue file means
The person you're calling knows. Yep.
the person you're calling knows that when you say blue file, you need help at your open house right now.
Yeah.
There's something making you uncomfortable where you're at.
Yeah.
And whomever that is knows they need to drop what they're doing and come to your aid immediately.
Yeah, because if you get weird vibes from someone that's checking it out, they could just be socially, excuse me 1 second, 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, this was weird.
Yep.
Like, that's not going to happen. Well, if it's not going to happen multiple times, because 911's be like, bro, what is it? Stop. I know that's just a weird dude.
Yeah, you'll get put on that list where they're like, no, just don't answer that phone.
Yeah, so having that and having a preset plan of like, look, they're, and knowing, again, it's better if they're closer to you.
Right.
So, hey, your guy that you went to high school with lives down the street. Hey, I'm just doing this.
Just in case.
It never happened before to me, but just in case,
Yep.
So I think that's a really strong bonus tip. Again, literally costs no money, takes 30 seconds to set up. And if it's your homie from high school that lives 5 minutes away, be like, maybe he'll just come to the open house and hang out with you.
Right.
Maybe he'll know someone that wants to buy the house. Like you got a whole bunch of options there.
Yeah. Like there's nothing bad from you having that conversation with your friend.
Yep.
Nothing bad.
Yep.
You're looking out for yourself, and if you need to make that phone call, it's already set up.
Yep. Exactly.
So, thanks for bringing that up.
Well, we've got a lot more that you went through. I think we have like an hour and a half of
It was a pretty fun class.
Yeah. I'll make sure Tom links that up in the YouTube link, and we'll put them on the Facebook as well. So if you want more in depth, I think we talked about how to handle being safe at your office. And I think there was another section. I can't remember what it was. But again, hopefully you guys got some value of this. Even though I've heard this all before, it reminded me so many things they're easy to implement, take no effort.
Yep.
I mean, walking behind someone in front of someone is incredibly safer.
Yeah.
And a better experience for them. And literally, they're not going to be like, oh.
And they'll never know the difference.
Never know. So.
Unless they are there for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
And then you being behind them is going to make them incredibly uncomfortable.
Like, miss that opening.
Yep.
Fine,
Yeah.
So
here's my offer.
And I think one last thing, and this is my third one last thing.
Yeah.
But another thing that you can
Lots
do
of last things.
to prevent openings is have a busy open house.
Right.
If you have a busy open house that Kyle talks about this ad nauseum.
I was just going to say, we've
mailers,
got oodles of ways to drive business to your open houses.
If you've done all of that, and in this market especially, you're going to have a flow of people consistently.
Yeah.
You're going to need another agent or two to help you with it. Like, all of these problems get solved if you set up your open house right.
All day.
Cool. So before we end, I want to talk. So back up a little bit. No, I'm kidding.
One last thing.
If you guys appreciated this, please, again, go to thewhisselway.com, like, comment, share, do whatever you can to help give Mike back a little value, us back a little bit value. We appreciate you listening, and if you guys liked it, leave us a review. If you didn't like it, thank you.
Leave us a review.
Yeah, I'm not going to push really hard on that one, but if you made it this far in, I'm sure you got something out of it. So thewhisselway.com, you can join our referral network. You can learn about our Media Mayor Mastermind course. You can join our Facebook group, subscribe to our YouTube, and subscribe to our podcast. So as we end the show, one thing that we always like to do is share something that we use in our business that makes, what does Kyle say, saves us time, makes us money, or just is a little bit more fun for our life.
100%.
Mike, do you want to go first? Or do you want me to run through it?
Yeah, I'll go first.
So, Mike, what do you got for your Whissel widget of the week?
So my Whissel widget of the week is a service called Client Giant. And trying to stay on top of client anniversaries, all these different reasons to send clients,
clients and past clients,
past clients. So Client Giant sends out a quarterly gift to everyone you sign up on it. and they're not attached to a holiday or an anniversary or anything. They're just seasonal, quarterly gifts, and they're thoughtful. They come with a handwritten note from you.
Even though you don't have to handwrite it.
Oh my gosh, so it's legible. And I've got the best responses. I've actually gotten 3 listings from being a part of Client Giant for only a year now.
Yeah.
So it's already paid for itself for like 4 years in advance.
And the thing I love about Client Giant is they're topical gifts.
Yeah.
And it's not a cutting board with your logo on it.
Yes.
A knife with your logo on it. A welcome sign with your logo on it. Like, it's not about
It's
you
not
as
an
the agent.
advertisement.
It's about, hey, I was thinking about you.
Yes.
Like, I know one of the things they did at the start of COVID is they sent out like hand sanitizer and like sanitizing kits. And I'm like, dude, you can't get this shit anywhere.
No.
And they're
Because they got it all. And
they
sent
got it all
to our clients.
exactly. But yeah, they had like hand sanitizer and like cleaning spray, and it's topical, it's thoughtful,
Yes.
and it's not expensive.
No. No, it's so not.
If you look at the lifetime value of a client and versus buying new leads and this and that and this and that,
Yep.
their pricing changes. I think it's around $100
It's
per
around
client,
$100 per year per client.
which
And you figure if you do this instead of like cheesy mailers and buying cheesy, cutting boards with your name or embossed on it or whatever, like this is less expensive and so much more impactful.
yeah, I'm a huge fan of Client Giant.
So
and it's
Client
automated.
Giant is
It's
the
great.
place to go.
Cool. Mine is fairly simple. Something I use literally probably every day. And it's something that I think a lot of us use, but I understand that a lot of people don't use it. My dad was a great example of this. He wouldn't use it, and I kept telling him, use this, use this, use this. Finally, he did it and goes, hey, did you hear about this thing? Yeah, Dad, I told you about it. He goes, it's amazing. And it's very simple. It's Google Docs. And why I love Google Docs so much, 1, it's free. 2, it updates in real time. So he was writing a book, but he would go out and travel and he would speak at different conventions. Well, he would have it on his home computer, but not his laptop, so he'd have to save it and then transfer it, and then he forgot it, and it's just a pain in the ass. But Google Docs, you can have it all online. It's all free. You can update it in real time. You can even work offline on it. So if you wanted to like save it as an offline copy, work on it on the airplane, when he gets back and connect to the internet, it updates.
Yeah.
It's great to collaborate with people, and it's just, I probably should have said it, if you're not familiar with Google Docs, it's Microsoft Word from Google.
Yeah.
You can still do formatting, everything. And one of the things that's really great about it is I'll write something up and then I'll send it to Tom, and he'll comment and say, I don't like this word. He can either change it or comment on it, and it's a great collaboration tool.
Yep.
So it's something very simple, something that I would assume a lot of people are already using, but if you're not using it, I guarantee you're going to use it from here on out. Because it's simple and it's easy and it's always available.
Totally.
So I use Google Docs when I'm writing up copy for Facebook posts, so that way if I accidentally refresh the page, I don't lose all my stuff. When I'm writing emails, all that sort of stuff. And then you can spell check and all that in there too.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Mike, for being on. We will have you again for sure.
Awesome.
And again, thewhisselway.com. We will see you in one of our many formats. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week.
Wait. Before you leave, I want to share some more tips and tricks that we're using in our business to take it to that next level. Just click right here. And don't forget to subscribe. Click right here.